these guys are playing their tails off, and as we know, this game, particularly this part of the year, guys get dinged up, and shoot, man, we're fortunate to have a bunch of really tough guys up front. So it's really a security blanket for me right now in terms of being able to call this game and not have to worry about them being able to function and do their job. So just want to give them a shout out as we get started here today. They've done a great job. Our tackles are as good as it gets in this business. Frank's playing out of his mind at center right now, and then our guards are playing really solid football as well. So makes my life a lot easier.
It's pretty rare, though, isn't it, Ben? I mean, Jonah, Frank, and Evan, I think, having a lot of sack all season long. I mean, you look at Deck, I think 3. I mean, Penny with 2. It's 5 sacks when you're in starters. It's pretty rare stuff, right? I mean, just how does that allow you to call a game and function when you know that you're that well protected?
It's a catch-22 for me as I'm calling it, because, I mean, they come to the sideline and they ask for more runs, but yet when they're protecting that well, let's throw it a little bit more. You know, not good things are happening, but no, I joke around with them about that. But no, they've done a great job. It's them doing a phenomenal job with their technique and fundamentals in pass protection, but it's also a testament to our route runners being disciplined, playing fast, being at the right depth, and our quarterback's playing with timing and anticipation. He's able to get the ball out quickly. So. And not to mention, we talked about some of the pocket troubles he had earlier this year, and he's worked on that, and he's conscious about it. So it all ties together, but certainly it makes my life easier calling the game because I'm not worried about protecting one side or the other. I've been a part of that in the past.
You're missing Ragnow.
Places.
You're missing Ragnow playing out of his mind. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe people will know he's hurt, but maybe people don't quite understand like what he's playing through. Given the injury that he's dealing with and the level of play that he's playing at, I don't know how much more impressive is the season when you sort of factor those two things in.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you watch the tape every week, and Coach Fraley and I were both just amazed with what he's able to do right now. And honestly, I think when you talk to him, he feels like he's not even hitting his standard or his mark, but it certainly doesn't go unnoticed. He's doing a phenomenal job. We put a ton on his plate that people don't realize from a mental aspect. There's a lot going on, both getting the protection identified, but also in the run game because like I said, we are so multiple, and he champions that. He loves coming in each week and getting all this stuff down, and it helps the entire offensive line when he's in there because there's that sense of comfort that, hey, he's going to get us right, and we're going. I know Jared certainly feels it as well at the quarterback spot.
This might be a better question for Frank. What does he have to go through right now just to get on the field? Like, what's the maintenance like and the training like to?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly smart in terms of our rep usage for him, but at this point of the season, for most of these guys, it's a little bit more mental than it is physical. We still practice hard, probably as hard as anybody I've been around, to be honest with you. At this time of the year, the intensity's up, so the few reps that we do get are good for him just to make sure he's ready to go on Sunday. But I think he's doing a great job in terms of his weekly process of getting his body ready every week. And it's different for every player, and he's doing a nice job with that right now.
He's a really good quarterback last week in Sauce Gardner. Did you put J.C. Horn on the same kind of level? You just look at the numbers, the rating against, the completion percentage against. I mean, some of the lowest in the league. Is he in that same category as Sauce was last week?
Yeah, I think he's playing really good football for them. A little bit different. I think just when you look at it, they're a little bit less man coverage than the Jets were last week, just overall. Certain situations will dictate a little bit more of that. And different style as well. Sauce was a little bit more press in your face, and Horn will play a little bit more off man. But they're very similar in terms of being sticky ball hawks, and Horn's done a nice job finding that ball in the air. If you don't put that ball out in front of the receiver, he tends to find a way to either get his hand on it or come down with the interception. So we got to be aware of where he's at on the field at all times.
You guys have very rarely been slowed on offense when you're at or near full strength. This is maybe the first time the Jets really kind of made life tough on you. And so I'm wondering, just watching back on the game as a play caller and a coordinator, what do you learn about yourself and your defense when or your offense when a defense is able to have that kind of success against you?
we knew it was going to be a good unit last week going into the game. And so I think that magnifies any mistakes that you have. Over the past few weeks, we've made probably some similar mistakes, and they haven't bit us quite as hard. And so, I think I first point at the red zone. We were 0 for 3 in the red zone. And if we do what we've been doing all season there, I think it's a completely different game. I think the narrative's a little bit different of how it goes. But first drive, we take it all the way down. I thought the guys executed the opening script really well. And then we got down in the red zone, and just how it went didn't end up, but we did have them backed up when they took over on downs. Second drive, we get down in the red zone. The penalties, that's something that we can't allow to be a chronic problem for us going forward. And then the third time, we have some miscommunication with some of our run game, and it kind of put us third and long. So that happened. The red zone, we have to be better. No problem. But then, as I talked about last week, some of those bread and butter plays that we kind of rely on, we didn't execute. And that, to me, was the most disappointing thing out of the whole game, was some of the things in the run game we've been doing all year. We had mental errors or targeting issues that really hadn't happened, and it was more self-inflicted than a product of what New York was doing. We knew they were going to play hard and where they were going to be, but we simply didn't, in key moments, execute as well as we were capable of.
Is that a valuable thing for you as a coach to win the game and come away with the victory, but to have, I guess, this to say, guys, look, we need to clean this up if we want to, achieve our goals. We can't play like this.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt, and I think they understand too. I mean, like I say, I hear they come to the side, hey, let's run the ball a little bit more. I'd love to, but the negative runs really hurt. We need to be efficient. We need to get going. Stay on schedule and ahead of the sticks. We're in too many second and longs last week, and it made our lives difficult. So, I think they certainly recognize it's something we'll continue to address as the week goes on too. And that's kind of been the story of our season, is fires pop up. We're just in a race to try to put them away, and then sure enough, another week comes by and other fires pop up. So it's our cycle right now.
What's the fine line between wanting to take care of the football, right? I mean, Jared's done a really good job as the only quarterback in the league who hasn't turned it over, started the last 6 games, but also maybe taking a shot or two, or giving your wide receiver an opportunity for a 50-50 ball down the sideline, or maybe fitting one in. What's the fine line there of maybe trying to make a play, letting a guy make a play, but also being cognizant of not turning the football over either?
Yeah, I think that goes down to our weekly conversations. Each night he'll come up and it'll just be one-on-one, me and him, and we'll kind of talk through each play and what the intent is and what we're looking to do. So in some ways I can kind of call the game more aggressively, and he understands when the call comes in, okay, I got the green light to push this thing down the field if the look presents itself. But he's done a really good job of taking those opportunities when they're there, but also the ones that we haven't thrown, he's gotten quickly to the check down and found completions, and it's allowed us, particularly the Jacksonville and Minnesota games, we're able to call more aggressive down the field plays, knowing that he's going to find a completion if it's not there, and keep us going. So you're bringing up the two things. Just don't jinx us there, okay? The sacks and the turnovers. Like let's keep that going, because that's the recipe for success right now for us. So it's been giving us a chance every week.
One shout out to J-Mo last week that's Jared's still getting used to his speed. But how was their chemistry coming along? That was something you said early on.
Yeah, it's a weekly process, and I think it is coming along. We try to push J-Mo a little bit more every week in terms of the routes we're asking him to run. Not just for the game, but also for his development and for Jared's chemistry with him. We're trying to see what he's capable of and what he's comfortable with at this point coming off that injury. So I think we'll continue to see a growing connection between those two. It's just time on task.
There's been studies that show QB sneaks are one of the most effective plays in those really short yardage situations. You guys don't run them a whole lot. I'm just curious, is there a reason you don't really like that play all that much?
You didn't like the 4th and 1 call?
Did you like the
A little bit. Yeah, we'll quarterback sneak it when we feel like we need to. But it's part of our arsenal. There's no question. We've done it, and can we do it more? Sure. We feel really good about the plan we go in with it every week, though, based on what we've been seeing on tape.
Jared said that 4th-and-1 play was basically the same play as the Panay play from last week. Just wondering if you could maybe compare those two plays and how maybe the one set up the other.
I don't know how if the defense really saw it in the same light or not, but we've done that a few times now where we do that fast motion. Done it a few times on the goal line, and then here we are, 4th-and-1. I don't think it's a foreign concept for most of these guys in this league, but apparently calling it that time was a little bit out of the ordinary. I don't know. I thought our guys really did a nice job executing it. But yeah, I think that's one of our short yardage. We'll introduce that every training camp, kind of a staple for us, just to get it going.
Did you have any inclination that play could go for a touchdown when you called it? Is it in the back of your mind at all?
Yeah, I knew someone was going to be wide open. I wasn't sure exactly who that would be, and I didn't know that it was going to be a touchdown. I thought it was going to be explosive, though. I thought it was going to be big. And that's kind of there. Every week we kind of have the game plan set up where, shoot, man, I really hope we can get these, I don't know, call it 5 to 10 plays off the sheet. But the situation really dictates that, So it's kind of depends. Kind of depends on whether we can get to it or not. But that's every week we're feeling really good about certain plays, and you can't just call them out of the blue and hope they work. We just try to set them up in the right spots.
Explain just a little bit why you thought that play would be an explosive. Like, was there something, like what was happening basically in that play that made you think that maybe it could be one of those kinds of plays?
Let's have a beer after the season. Yeah. I'm good. All right. I'm good.
You knew right away, though, that there was no hesitation whatsoever that situation, boom, that was the call. I mean,
Yeah. The only thing I did was I communicated with the head coach before, just to make sure he was good with it, and then we were good to go. Yes. No wave this go around, so we were good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.